to have a short video. It's not going to be very long. I am using the Everyday Arches dies from Stampin' Up, as I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Ohio, and I love bringing some videos to you, although I do not have a set time right now, but we're getting close to being able to do that. And so right now I'm live. I hope I get some people on. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to do this video and I hope that I'm trying to pull it up so I can see it as we're doing it. And then maybe I can, I don't know. I was going to look to see if I could see the comments, but I don't see that I can do that. I did it before. So here, let me see if I do it this way. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to do my card. I care about that. So if you do comment, I will probably see them a little bit later because I am not seeing it right now as doing it live. I'm going to have to check out that just a little bit more. So anyway, I do want to tell you about Stampin' Up! Is going to have a special starting June 3rd through June 30th. And it is if you buy a suite, you can get a suite half price. Great, great sale. It's not going to be limited to just like buy a suite. You could buy a suite, but in another suite, buy a stamp set. The stamp set's what's going to be half price. It's going to be the lower priced item of the two things you pick. If you pick two suites, one of those suites will be lower. Whichever's lower price will be the half price. But that is going till June 30th. I'll find out more about it this week as it starts. I think isn't the 3rd on Monday or Tuesday? Probably Tuesday. And so anyway, that will be what's going on in the near future. So I just wanted to thank everybody that ordered from me in May. You guys have made my day, and I appreciate all the orders. I am very close to getting my $100,000 in sales. My career sales was Stampin' Up. So, and I've been with them 11 years. It's not like I got this real fast, but that will help me in June if you decide to place an order for the special that's going to be going on. Then you can help me out as well. And all that information is in the description below the video. So let's get started with the card. I am doing Everyday Arches. Well, I did a birthday card, but I'm actually going to do a thank you card today. So let me turn the camera down, do my little switch in here, get my finger in the way when I do that. And I'll bring the camera closer to so we can see better. Whoops, there we go. Make a big slide out of that. So here we go. Here's my PDF. It is on my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP. I have PDFs over there for all my cards, and you will be able to get this PDF that has all of the measurements and what I used, plus instructions on how I did it. If you so would want this, you can go over there and join that and get all the PDFs you want. I have PDFs for all of my cards. So today we are using the Everyday Arches dies, and I set them right here. Of course I set them in front of me and couldn't find them. These are the dies, and there's 11 of them. And I'm using the number 6 from counting from the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. Then we got 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 dies in here that you can cut different sizes, which is great. So we are going to be using this one on our card. And, you know, I've done cards where I've made the whole card with arches and stuff like that. But why not use a little bit of DSP? Because I tell you what, you could get actually 12 of these cards out of one 12 by 12 sheet of DSP, because this is cut 2 3/4 by 4, and so you're going to get 3 out of a strip and 4 the other way. So there you go, there's 12 cards. The stamp sets that we are using go with the arches. We have Arched Wishes, which I did this birthday card out of. And then we have Everyday Arches, which I did these 2 cards out of. So, anyway, that is what I've used on these cards. Great sets and stuff. So, I'm going to put them to the side. And we are going to make our cards. And like always, I'm going to make 2. I do need to cut 1 die because I want to show you what I did with this. I'm going to move these up. I'll move them over here, I think. What I did, because I wanted that to be sturdy, my arch, because I put it on dimensionals. So I cut a 2 3/4 by 4 inch piece of DSP plus a 2 3/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock, and I am going to glue those together. And that way it is going to make my piece sturdier. And I'm not putting a lot of glue per se thick. I'm putting a lot of glue to cover that, so when I cut it, it's going to stay together. So we are just going to put those 2 together, and I'm just going to rub it to make them sure that they are burnished together. And I will tell you that paper comes out of the Thankful, I think it's called Lovely Garden. It's this paper right here. I believe it's an online exclusive. I don't have much of it open. I've used all of it. So, but it is great paper to use. I have another pack. I just haven't opened it yet. So it is great paper to use. And, you know, what I'm doing today is a great way to use up scrap. So let me set this to the side for a second. We're going to bring in my little embossing machine and we're going to cut this. And that's the only one I have to cut, even though I'm going to do 2 cards. I already have the other one cut. So let's bring this out. I'm going to set this on my platforms, and I'm going to put my die, and my die just fits this, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to have a lot of waste. So we're going to set that on there just like that. I'm going to put my top piece, and we're just going to run it through, and you're going to hear squeaks because I have a squeaky there we go. I have a squeaky machine here. So anyway, there we go. We'll cut that out. We have this little piece left, and I will just pitch that. And I will take my platforms. I like to take my platforms and just stick them into my machine. If I'm not using it, you know, in between uses, I do that. Kind of holds my plates down, makes them so they're not so bent out of shape, because you can warp them some, but you can get them back in. So there's the die that we use. So let's bring in the other pieces of our card. I am using a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, scored at 5 1/2 for my base of my card. I have a piece that I'm going to make sure I got there's 2 different sizes. Okay, this is 5 1/4 by 4. I know that card is light enough, but I'm going to add this to it with a piece of DSP for my inside to kind of brighten my inside up and make it go with the outside of my card. So I'm just going to add this here. I contemplated on what color to use for my background. I thought the white was too stark. It almost looked like a petal pink in there, a real light one, but petal pink was I didn't like it. So basic beige it was, and the very vanilla was too yellow toned for what I wanted. So I'm just going to add this in here. Makes your card a little bit sturdier. Plus, it just looks nicer to add when you're adding paper to it. So there's our inside. Here's our front. I have a piece of garden green, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and a piece of basic beige that's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and they are going to go together just like this. But first we are going to stamp on here. And I've got the stamp, "You Are Simply Fantastic," and doing a thank you card. So I want to go ahead and ink that, and I'm using the basic black on my cards today. I'm just going to rub that on there and then pat it really good. Get that stamp inked really, really good since it's in black. Then I want to bring my card over, and actually I want to place this right here. I'm not going to put it down yet because I want to do it with dimensionals, but see where I want that, and then I'm going to add my stamp. And then I'm going to press really hard. I want those words as dark as I can get them. I could have put this in my Stamparatus, which we don't sell anymore, but any kind of tool you've got like that, maybe the Misty, or I think Tim Holtz has one. Not sure, but I know there's several with them. So there's our stamped image, and now this is ready to go on. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take dimensionals, and I'm actually using up scrap dimensionals. So I'm just going to cut this apart here and here, and I'll just put a piece at the top, piece at the bottom, and I'll take this piece and put it at a diagonal right there, and that'll hold my card up. So let's go ahead, and putting that DSP on a backing of cardstock really makes it sturdy for stuff like this. And you know, if you're going to take the time to make a card, make it nice, put a little extra into it if you need to, because in the long run it'll make a much nicer card for whoever is you are going to be sending it to. So I am just going to lay that in there. I'm going to go ahead and layer this onto the green. I'm going to bring in my other card base that I'm making, since I'm doing 2 of these, because it's always easier really to go ahead and do 2 cards when you're doing one. Put one if you're making one specifically that day, make another one so that you'll have it extra when you need it. And what I cut for it was one of my favorite papers, which is the You and Me. I think it's called You and Me, or Meant to Be, one or the other. It's this paper right here. It's actually was a scrapbook paper. It's in the online exclusives. And I'm doing the exact same thing here. I am using, my card is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I did decide to use white with this one. I could have used basic beige, but I like the white. So I'm going to take this white piece. I'm going to add my strip of DSP. And this will be my inside of my card. I always like to do something on the inside to kind of bring my outside of my card to the inside, make it look more finished. And that's why I like to layer on the inside of my cards too. I just think you get a much nicer look, and it'd be nice if I could do this straight, but there we go. Okay, so now we are going to take this and do the same thing what we did here. We are going to stamp, and I'm going to make it a thanks. And the reason why I'm making all these thank you cards is because I've got a ton of birthday cards, and I really need some thank you cards. So might as well make them while I'm doing videos, right? So there again, I am going to add this into my front a little bit to kind of see where I would want it. Then I'm going to take my stamp and layer it down. And then just give it a good press over those words, because I really like doing that. I almost laid that in my ink pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in, did I cut a piece? I need a scrap of basic beige. Let me get a scrap of that. I have tons of scraps. I hope I have one of that will fit that size. I should. And if I don't, I can always cut a little bit. I think that's what we're going to do here. Let's end up making a cut. Okay. And then I'm going to get, we're going to cut two things down really quick. So, nothing like having to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my thanks. And I think I'll use this bigger size. Here. Give it a good press. And then I'm going to use, I just cut this down, so I hope it's right. It looks good. So there we go with that. Get the ink off of it. Okay, now, that way I could close up my pad. So I've got this pretty peacock piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 that I'm going to add this white piece to. And then let's add that to the front of our card. Make sure, since I added the inside, didn't I? Yes. We'll put this on there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually do exactly what I did before, but I have some dots here, so I'm going to go ahead and use them out of this package. And then I'm going to cut me a piece and put in the center. There we go. So let's peel the dots. Peel the dots. I love using dimensionals. I like to give my cards some dimension. I think it looks nice. So let's go ahead and add this. And what I have is I have this white piece. Whoops. That'll just fit here. So I'm going to take and I'm just going to angle this one end like so. I'm going to adhere that to that piece of smoky slate, or it's gray granite actually, I think. Now that I think about it. I don't know, it matches the paper. So I'm going to take and I'm just going to make a piece and I'm going to add my dimensions again. I'll just take and cut me a piece. Stick that right down the center. And add that right to my card, and in a minute we will embellish it. So let's bring this one over, add it to the card. These are fast cards to make, and I tell you what, you could sit and just make a bunch of the arches and have them ready out of different color cardstocks or different colors of DSP, different designs, And then just have it ready to go on your, when you're ready to make a card. So I'm going to glue this. I'm going to have to cut it down, but I'm not going to worry about that too bad, because what I'll do is I'll just add this down to one end. And then I will take, and I'm going to not cut it at an angle yet. I'm just going to cut it like that. And then I'm going to bring this in. Cut me a little border. And voila, we have a card. Greeting. And I'm going to add some more dimension to this card. So I have 2 thank you cards, and now let's add a little bit of embellishments, okay? I have these pearls, and they are called antique pearls. That goes without saying. So I'm just going to take the small ones, and I think, whoops. My pick tool didn't want to let go of it. So there we go. We have that for that one. And this one, I'm going to put these away, and I'm going to use another one. I went through all of my dimensionals the other day, took them all, and put the order number that's on the back of them into Stampin' Up's website, and to see what was still current, I guess I should say, and different things. So I hate to use stuff that's retired on my videos, because people ask me, oh, I like that, you know, and I don't want to say, well, you can't get it. That's not very nice. So I'm going to use these bigger ones on here. And so there we have our 2 cards. Very simple, very easy to make. And I really hope that you enjoyed them. If anyone's on here, because I'm not seeing it live right now, if anyone's on here, please put a comment in the comments, and, you know, at least say hi. Tell me where you might be from. And give me a thumbs up if you don't mind, and subscribe to my channel. That helps my algorithm with my videos being shown, and it just helps me get a little bit closer to a goal I have with YouTube. So if you don't mind doing that for me, I would so much appreciate it. And I will be back on Saturday. I did not have a Saturday video last week. It was like a whirlwind for me. My 3rd oldest grandchild was graduating from high school, and I was just busy thinking about that and stuff. We had the graduation, and then we had other things to go to. We had a graduation party on Sunday to go to, and I was just trying to get cards made, get things ready for that, and I totally forgot about my Saturday video. There was nothing else, but just totally forgot. So I hope to not forget this time and have a video on Saturday. So until then, I will see you soon. Okay? Thank you. Bye.